Money guilt. It's a real thing. It sneaks into our energy, our being, our thinking, our businesses in order to keep us poor. Let that sink in for a minute. Its main purpose is to keep you limited and keep you poor. Today, we're going to break through on the taboo topic of money guilt, how it affects you, the silent struggle that many entrepreneurs are facing. So, welcome to today's episode of Soul and Strategy for Entrepreneurs. I am Dawn Marie, your host for today, and this is one of my favorite topics to get into because nobody's talking about it, nobody's identifying it, and nobody is really calling it out in order to really heal from it and take their power back. Okay. So, in part two, we're going to go a little deeper into how this can show up for us that we may not be recognizing. We may see these things showing up, but not really attaching it to money guilt. So, let's dig in for today. Let's dig into the heart of the matter and break the silence today. I have so many people that I talk to about the guilt, and money guilt is a huge one. So I could tell you from firsthand experience of myself, as well as many clients along the journey, that it often comes from different directions, different experiences. It's a very unique thing because it's based on our perception, but there are some common threads in it. And for you to really apply it to your life, you're going to have to do some of the behind the scenes work a little bit on your own. But I think you can handle this. This is not that major of a deal. It only feels heavy because it's untalked about so much. So, what is money guilt? Where does it come from? What is this all about? How do I get rid of it? How do I overcome it? What am I going to do? Okay. That's what we're going to talk about today. So, money guilt stems from a false belief that pursuing financial success is somehow selfish or immoral. And you could see how that could be applied from so many different experiences. Maybe you were raised in a religious atmosphere that taught it was better to be poor and meek and enjoy the kingdom of wealth in the afterlife. Or maybe um, the idea of you having more than somebody else. Eat those peas. You don't know that there's other children in the world starving in other countries. You should be grateful for those peas. Uh, Stuff like this, it just depends on our where our perspective was at the time. This is what starts to create. Well, you don't charge friends for the work you do. You never charge friends and family, but yet, how do you reach outside? I mean, if a customer is friendly towards you, then how do you charge them? It goes back to self-worth. It goes back to your diminished value of your perceived value, I should say. And it's this nagging voice in your head for whatever reason behind it. Who am I to earn this much? I really should be doing more for others instead of focusing on my own wealth. This is a way of negating our value. This is a way of putting ourselves last. And this is what society teaches us as a whole to do, especially for the feminine energy, the female entrepreneurs, but not exclusively. The truth is, money guilt is a sneaky little bugger. If you allow it in, it can literally cripple your confidence. It can hold you back from reaching your full potential. And I want you to really think about that for a minute. Your full potential is not just about you. It's not just about your household. It's not just about your bank account. It's about the ripple effect that you create, the purpose that you came here to express. Okay. So by internalizing society's judgments and others' expectations around money, We unintentionally block our own prosperity and we limit our ability to create a positive impact in this world. This is massive. Let that sink in. The people you are here to help, the people you are here to create impact for, are going to go without because of the unspoken limitations around money guilt. No, we can't let that happen. So, how do we break free of this grip that money guilt has over us? Because it's got quite a few people without them really realizing it. That's why I call it sneaky. So it starts with acknowledging and challenging our limiting beliefs around money. Start looking for, where is this showing up? Is this showing up for me? And if so, where is it showing up for me? Where do I feel guilt? Where do I feel fears about creating more? And a lot of that for me and for some others that I've worked with is wrapped around gratitude. Well, if I am desiring more, isn't that greedy? Like, isn't that lack of gratitude for what I have? No, no, it is not. We had to do some work around that. You can be completely grateful for what you've received. Yes, there's always others that are worse off than you are. And it's always a great place to be, to feel gratitude. But it's a misaligned place to be, to feel that, to want more, desire more, reach out for more, push for more, create higher goals and levels, and receive more means that you don't have gratitude. That's simply not true. So we define and recognize our worthiness, our ability to make a difference in the world. And we understand that it's not determined by our bank account balances. So if you can be a quote unquote good person, or who you want to be, and show up as your true authentic self while you're broke, you can just do that easier and less stressed and more effectively if you're not broke. When you have more money in the bank, it allows you to do this and focus in on your gifts, your talents, your offerings to the world magnified. So I really challenge you to identify how this is showing up. And the next episode will help you a lot more with that. Today, I just want to talk about exposing these lies, these myths, and how to really tap into healing this and moving forward, breaking free of these chains and moving forward. So I challenge you to identify any limiting beliefs about money. And then I also, in that challenge you to recognize your own worthiness. This can be done by talking it out, by writing it out, by thinking it out. Whatever your jam is, or whatever you're led to do, is totally fine. But you need to really spend some time and work here. And then I want you to really recognize what your ability is to make a difference in the world, and how you can do that with a small bank account and how you can do that with a big bank account. It really doesn't define who you are. Then I want you to wrap your head more around redefining your relationship with money. Money is an energy. And yes, just like a marriage, just like a friendship, it has a relationship. And if you have guilt around it, if you're constantly pushing it away from that guilt, if you're repelling it because of that guilt, if you're afraid to hold on to it because of that guilt, it's not going to come. It's not a healthy relationship. I want you to embrace a mindset of abundance and know that you are worthy. So instead of viewing wealth as a zero sum game, we can recognize that it's here to help you do more good. It's here so you can magnify what your capabilities are to more people in bigger ways, and that your financial success can really push and infuse more good into the world. It's not selfish. It's not all just about you. It actually is about the whole collective. And then finally, we must give ourselves permission to receive and enjoy the fruits of our labor without the guilt, without the shame. And truthfully, this feels weird when you first start doing it. It doesn't feel out of alignment. It doesn't feel like a lie, but it feels weird because we're not used to it. So this is something that practice makes progress. Perfection is not going to happen. This is a continuing journey, but we can choose to use our wealth just like any other tool. We can choose it to use it. We can choose to use it as personal growth, collective upliftment, meaningful contributions to causes we care about, more focus on helping more people. It's a tool. It's a tool to be used. It's a tool to bring choices. It is not about guilt. So remember, you are not alone in your struggles with money guilt. This affects more people than you probably realize. And entrepreneurs get like the double whammy by shedding light on this hidden burden today and daring to have an open, honest conversation about it. My goal is to create a more compassionate and empowered relationship for you, between you and money, for the collective. And this is just going to create a ripple effect. So that's today. That wraps up today's episode of Unveiling the Money Guilt. Tomorrow, or the next episode, I should say, we're going to be talking more about how to identify it, where it shows up, where you may not be recognize it, but you could maybe already be experiencing some of the resulting struggles from it. I hope you found this discussion illuminating and empowering. Be sure to tune in next time as we continue with part 2 of Unveiling the Money Guilt.